I had always known something was off with my wife, but I never expected the betrayal to hit me like a physical blow in the middle of a crowded living room. It was my cousin's engagement party, a huge gathering in our town's community hall. Friends, family, coworkers, everyone dressed in their finest. I had arrived early, mingled politely, poured drinks for relatives I hardly knew, and smiled through conversations that were mostly small talk. She arrived an hour later, radiant as ever, or so I thought. I waved her over, and she smiled, gave me a quick peck on the cheek, and slipped past me into the crowd. Something about the way she moved caught my eye, though I didn't understand it at first. There was confidence in her stride, something she didn't usually display around me, something almost secretive. I tried to ignore it, telling myself I was being paranoid. But then I saw him, a man I didn't know very well, but enough to recognize from her office social events. She was laughing at his joke, leaning closer than was necessary, her hand resting lightly on his arm. My chest tightened, and I froze, hoping it wasn't what I thought it was. And then I saw the jacket. It was my dead brother's jacket, the leather one he always wore, the one he had left behind when he passed. I had thought it was gone forever, lost in the shuffle of our family home after his funeral. I hadn't realized she had taken it. She was wearing it as if it was nothing, draped casually over her shoulders, completely ignoring me, completely ignoring the fact that it belonged to someone I loved more than anyone else in the world. I couldn't breathe. Every memory of my brother, the way he laughed, the way he protected me, the way he had died suddenly in a car accident 2 years ago, flashed in my mind. And now she was wearing something sacred to me, something he had worn, and using it as a prop in her betrayal. I moved closer, heart pounding, trying to get a better look at what she was doing. My worst fear was confirmed. Her hand lingered on his arm, longer than it should have. Their heads were close together, whispering. And she laughed at something he said, the kind of laugh I hadn't heard in months, the laugh I used to hear when she was with me. My mind went numb. I wanted to scream. I wanted to storm over and slap her. But I didn't. I just watched, my hands shaking, my stomach twisting, my world collapsing around me. When she finally turned to scan the room, she made eye contact with me. I could see the flicker of surprise, the quick flash of guilt. Or maybe it was fear. She knew she had been caught. I walked over slowly, deliberately, each step heavy with anger and grief. She tried to smile, to act casual, but it didn't reach her eyes. "Do you have any idea what you're wearing?" I asked quietly, my voice low, but sharp enough to cut through the music and chatter around us. She hesitated, then looked down at the jacket. "It's just a jacket," she said, too casually, too quickly. "Just a jacket," I repeated, my voice rising. "That belonged to my brother, my dead brother. Do you have any idea what that means to me? Do you have any idea what kind of person wears someone else's memory as if it's nothing?" Her eyes widened, and she took a step back. I didn't mean anything by it. I just—" "You just?" I interrupted, furious now. "You just used it as a prop while you were cheating on me in front of our family and friends. Do you understand how low that is? Do you understand how much that hurts?" She opened her mouth, but I cut her off. "No, don't speak. Not now. You don't get to explain. You don't get to justify. You just betrayed me. You just humiliated me. You just disrespected my brother's memory, and I can't even begin to process how someone could be this cruel." She looked around the room, suddenly aware that people were staring. Whispers began to rise. My family members who had been mingling paused, uncertain, sensing the tension. I felt my hands clench into fists. I turned away from her, the anger mixing with heartbreak. The jacket, the symbol of my brother, of my childhood, of my loss, was now a weapon in her hands, a cruel decoration for her deceit. I didn't confront her further that night. I left the party quietly, slipping out the back door, ignoring her calls and messages. I didn't need to say anything else in front of everyone. The betrayal had already been exposed. The look on her face as she realized I had seen everything said it all. Over the next few days, I tried to process it. I thought about confronting her, about asking why, about demanding apologies. But the truth is, there is no excuse for this kind of betrayal. No reason is ever sufficient when someone you love treats your family, your memories, and your trust like props for their amusement. I moved my brother's jacket into a safe place, away from her reach. Every time I touch it now, I feel a mix of grief and anger. That jacket will never be hers to wear. Never again. And my wife, she's no longer a part of my life. Some people think betrayal is only about the act itself, the cheating, the lies, the hidden messages. But sometimes, it's even worse when someone takes what you hold sacred and uses it to shield their infidelity. That was what she did to me. She didn't just cheat. She desecrated a memory, a connection I can never replace. I don't speak to her anymore. I don't answer her messages. And I will never forgive her for that night. Because it wasn't just about her betrayal. It was about the fact that she took something irreplaceable from me, something that belonged to someone I loved more than life itself, and turned it into a tool for her deceit. And every time I see that jacket now, carefully folded on the shelf, I feel the mixture of loss, rage, and sorrow. She can keep her memories of that party. I'll keep the ones that matter, the memories of my brother, the person he was, and the knowledge that I won't let anyone disrespect that again. Betrayal isn't always easy to spot. Sometimes it's subtle, sometimes it's loud, and sometimes it's wearing someone else's life over your own while smiling in your face. That night, I learned the cruelest lesson of all.